Walk into a billionaire's home and you might feel disappointed. Where are the chandeliers? Where's the gold? The room is nearly empty. A single sculpture, a low sofa, light falling across bare walls. This is not poverty. This is power. The truly wealthy have learned something the aspirational have not. Decoration is a confession. It confesses insecurity. It confesses the need to prove something. When you own everything, you stop displaying anything. The entry hall of a Mayfair townhouse contains one object, a 14th century bronze. No label, no explanation. If you know, you know. If you do not know, you were never meant to enter. This is the first principle of actual wealth. Silence speaks louder than exhibition. But why does this contradiction exist? Why does accumulation lead to elimination? Consider the mechanics of taste. The nouveau riche fill rooms because they fear emptiness. Empty space suggests they cannot afford to fill it, so they fill it with everything: proof of purchase, evidence of arrival. The established wealthy empty rooms because they fear vulgarity. Full space suggests desperation, trying too hard, needing validation from objects. This is a fundamental shift in consciousness. One group asks, "What can I own?" The other asks, "What can I refuse?" Psychologists call this delayed gratification at the aesthetic level, but it runs deeper than patience. It is about identity formation. When your wealth is old enough, undeniable enough, invisible enough, you no longer use objects to construct yourself. You already exist. The objects are optional. A Park Avenue apartment, 6,000 square feet, 4 pieces of furniture. The owner explains nothing. Guests who question the emptiness have revealed they do not belong. The space itself becomes the luxury: air, light, the possibility of movement without obstruction. But this creates a paradox. If luxury means owning less, where does the money go? The money goes where no one can see it. It goes into the wall that took 8 months to plaster, 12 craftsmen, a specific texture that catches morning light at precisely the correct angle. The wall looks like nothing. It cost more than most homes. This is the secret economy of the ultra-wealthy: invisible quality. The floor is stone. It looks simple. It was quarried from a single location in Portugal, each piece selected for nearly imperceptible variations in color. The installation took 4 months. You walk across it and notice nothing except a vague sense of calm. The window is glass, but this glass has a clarity that ordinary glass does not possess. It was made in Germany using a process involving 8 separate firings. Through this window, the world looks subtly more vivid, more real. No one sees the expense. Everyone feels the result. This is control at its highest form, shaping perception without revealing the mechanism. A Tokyo penthouse. The walls are white, but 11 different whites were tested over 6 months before selection. The white that appears white at dawn, still white at dusk, never yellow, never blue, always exactly itself. The guest sees a white wall. The owner sees 10 million yen of intentionality. Why does this matter to them? Why does anyone spend this way? Because privacy has become the ultimate luxury. In a world of surveillance, documentation, and social performance, invisibility is priceless. The overly decorated room photographs well. It signals wealth to strangers. It invites attention. It says, "Look at what I have." The empty room photographs poorly. It reveals nothing. It protects its owner. It says, "You cannot know me through my possessions." This is strategic opacity. The Forbes list tracks yachts and mansions, but the truly powerful own things no list can quantify. Shell companies hold the penthouses. Trusts own the art. The names on deeds belong to no one you can identify. Their spaces reflect this philosophy: minimal documentation, maximum deniability. A London duplex worth £40 million contains almost nothing. If photographed, it could belong to anyone. This is precisely the point. Wealth that cannot be proven, status that requires no evidence. But there is another layer, something more personal than strategy. What drives this aesthetic beyond mere privacy? Taste is the final frontier of class distinction. Money can be earned, connections can be built, but taste must be inherited or cultivated across decades. The empty room is a test. Only those with sufficient visual education recognize its quality. The untrained eye sees nothing. The trained eye sees everything. This is gatekeeping at the molecular level. A collector in Singapore owns one chair. It is a 1959 Fin Jewel. It sits alone in a room of 2,000 square feet. Visitors often ask where the other furniture is. She smiles. They have failed the test. Those who understand do not ask. They sit in the chair. They feel the precision of its joinery. They notice the grain of the teak. They recognize the object as a complete statement. Nothing else is needed. Everything else would be redundancy. This is taste as a form of violence. Polite, quiet, absolute. The person who needs explanation will never truly understand. The person who understands needs no explanation. But taste alone does not explain the extremity. Why not one beautiful room with 5 objects instead of 1? Because 5 objects present 5 opportunities for error. Each object must justify its presence, must earn its position, must contribute to a singular vision. This requires a level of control most people cannot sustain. The under-decorated space is not easy. It is not simple. It is extraordinarily difficult to maintain. One wrong object destroys the entire composition. One sentimental photograph, one inherited vase, one piece that disrupts the visual field. The discipline required is monastic. This appeals to a specific personality type, the type that builds empires, that controls thousands of employees, that manages billions in assets. These individuals do not relax into chaos. They extend their need for order into every domain. The home becomes another system to optimize, another territory to dominate. A Geneva estate. The owner runs a private equity firm. She makes decisions that affect millions of lives. At home, she permits herself 3 colors, white, gray, a specific shade of blue that appears in exactly 2 objects. This is not decoration. This is ideology made visible. The space reflects the mind that shaped it. Ruthless clarity, zero tolerance for the extraneous, a worldview that believes in hierarchy, essentialism, refinement through subtraction. Can such a space ever feel like home? Here is the tension no one discusses. These spaces are often profoundly lonely. Empty rooms echo. Minimalism can feel cold. The absence of personal objects creates emotional distance. But for some, this is not a flaw. This is the point. The under-decorated luxury space is a kind of armor. It prevents intimacy. It maintains separation between the owner and the world. When nothing personal is visible, nothing personal can be known. A Los Angeles compound. The owner is a technology founder. Wealth in the billions. The house contains no photographs, no books, no indication that anyone actually lives there. Friends find it unsettling. He finds it peaceful. He has spent his life being observed, analyzed, documented. At home, he wants to disappear. The empty space allows this. It gives nothing away. This is the psychology underneath the aesthetic, a desire for protection through absence. But it creates a deeper question. If your home reveals nothing, if your space is curated into near invisibility, what remains of you? The answer arrives slowly. What remains is essence. The journey toward under-decoration is a journey toward self-knowledge. Strip away the inherited objects, remove the gifts that never felt quite right, eliminate the purchases made from boredom or trend or fear. What survives this process is what actually matters. For some, this is one painting. For others, this is light itself, the way it moves through an empty room, the way shadow defines space better than any object could. This is luxury as meditation. A minimal space forces confrontation with yourself. There is nowhere to hide, no clutter to distract, no possessions to define you. You are alone with the question of who you are when nothing external supports your identity. Most people cannot tolerate this. They fill the silence with sound, the emptiness with things, the void with validation. The few who can tolerate it discover something unexpected: freedom. Freedom from the tyranny of more, from the endless cycle of acquisition, from the belief that the next object will finally complete the picture. A Manhattan loft, one table, one window, one view of the city. The owner sits in the empty space each morning. No phone, no music, no company. She is worth $900 million. She owns almost nothing she can touch. And in this absence, she has found the only luxury that matters: the luxury of having already arrived.